The great myths of the world are more than good stories. They have a specific purpose. They're designed to uncover and tell us the deepest truths of human life, to tell us things that won't change over time, things we can count on. They're meant for a guide. They have been passed like a torch from generation to generation, and now they've come to us to use in difficult times when we could really benefit from them. Today I want to tell you the story of the legend of Parzival, which is one of the great medieval stories. It was written in the year 1208 by a German knight named Wolfram von Eschenbach. Parzival is a knight at King Arthur's court, and like all the other knights at King Arthur's court, he's out looking for the Holy Grail. Now at this time, and in this myth, the Holy Grail isn't a chalice, it's a beautiful, luminous green stone. And if you have the Grail with you, you can do extraordinary things. You can make the world a better place. You can help people be authentic. You can clear up the wasteland that most people's lives have become, where we live in a kind of a listless way and don't get much done, and we complain and whine a lot, and we just don't have good lives. The Grail has the power to change that. The Grail has the power to bring abundance to the world. And I suspect that if you or I had the Grail, we could do things like clean up hideous oil slicks. We could probably fix the economy. No telling what we could do, but we'd want it. So Parzival is looking for this Grail, and his story is kind of a long one, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit of it. So I'll go back and tell you some of the things that Parzival discovers at the beginning of his great journey toward the Holy Grail. The first one is, you got to go into the dark forest. That's where all the treasure lies. That's the complex stuff that you just don't want to face in life. You got to go in there. The first thing he learns is when you are ready to live a deeper and fuller life, start right now. There's no such thing as waiting until a better time. Start now. The next thing he learns is you can't take someone else's path. If you see a path, it's someone else's. Don't take that one. Climb right through the underbrush and go for it yourself. The hero's journey myths are all about finding your own path in the wilderness. Your own path. No one else gets to vote on that except you. The next thing that Parzival learns is every great hero makes a fool of himself, and boy did he make a fool of himself. At one point he made such a fool of himself that people called him a goose. Can you imagine? He was horrified to be called a goose. I don't know. He learned that every great hero spends most of his or her time face down in the mud, which to me is a big relief, since I've done a fair amount of that myself. And he learns that you don't know more than nature. You and I don't know more than nature. We can't force things to happen. We got to learn to do them nature's way, and then great things can occur. So we're going to cut to the chase now. We're going to cut to the juicy part of the story. 20 years after he started. Parzival still hasn't given up. What a plucky kid. I guess he's not a kid anymore. He's been looking for the Grail for 20 years, and he is exhausted, and he is tired, and he's discouraged, and he thinks he's a fool. And he doesn't know what to do. And one morning, he wakes up at the edge of a forest glade and looks out. And that day, he has an adventure that changed his life forever. And it can change ours too. As he looked out across the glade, he saw at the other end of it another knight. And not just any knight, this was an evil knight. How did he know he was evil? Easy, he was different. He hadn't learned everything yet. This knight had a flag that indicated that he was a Muslim. And his face was black. And Parzival thought, wow, I'm the great white Christian knight, black Muslim knight? Good versus evil. I have to do it. If I can't find the Grail, if I can't bring goodness to the world, at least I can defeat evil. And he signals the other guy that he wants to fight, and the other guy goes, you bet, because he feels the same way about Parzival. So they slam down the front of their helmets, they climb on their great huge chargers, get their lances out, And the most extraordinary battle in history takes place in that glade. As their swords ring out against each other, the animals in the forest all come and gather around the edge of the glade, and they hold their breaths to see what they see. They fight through the morning, through the noon, and all through the very hot afternoon. And finally, just before dusk comes, Parzival's sword is knocked from his hands. This has never happened before. He's devastated. He knows now that he's lost everything. He can't bring good to the world. He can't defeat evil. All he's got left is his integrity. So he says, "Kill me, Sir Knight. I know the rules of chivalry." And the other knight said, "I'm not going to kill an unarmed man. We don't do that where I come from." And Parzival says, "Where do you come from that's so special?" The other knight says, "I come from the land of Anjou." Parzival says, "I really doubt it. I come from the land of Anjou. And the only other great knight in the land of Anjou is my long-lost half-brother, whom I've never met." And they look one another in the eyes and see that they are the same eyes. They see that they've got the same facial structures and the same build, and they know finally that they are brothers, and they embrace. And Parzival's brother says to him, "Parzival, we came onto this battlefield today to destroy ourselves. But because our brother fought with great heart, we didn't succeed in that." And Parzival said, "Yes, any brother of mine and I are the same man. We can do great things together." And at that moment, around the corner, riding a donkey, came a woman in some fancy London clothes. And she said, "Parzival, I'm the Grail messenger. You've just proven that you're worthy of the Grail finally after 20 years. You've learned that compassion is more important than winning battles. And now you'll be able to handle the great power of the Grail. Come with me." So she led Parzival and his brother around the corner and over a little bridge, and there was the magnificent Grail castle. And he said, "I was right here, and I didn't see it." He said, She said, "You don't see it until you're ready." So they went into the Grail castle, and there they found the Grail king, seriously wounded and suffering. And Parzival's heart went out to him, and he said, "What ails you, uncle?" He even saw a relationship there. He saw a relationship everywhere now. And the Grail king said, "Parzival, it was said that whoever uttered those words, 'What ails you?' would cure me, and you've done that now. Please take this Grail. It hasn't done me any good." And Parzival and his brother took the Grail and got to work. And they did clean up the wasteland. And they did help people find their meaning in life and find out how to live well and happily with one another. And great abundance became the law of the land, and everything flourished and was beautiful, and they created a great golden age. And in all the lessons Parzival learned, this one stands out, and it's a lesson for you and me. We can do what Parzival did. We can start right now if we want to.